No!
Leave.
No! No!
Leave.
It is something this woman, seen in the documentary Satan Unmasked, says brought her peace. It is something a woman behind these glass doors in Italy hopes will save her. Some time ago in this Litchfield home, wife and mother Pat Redding felt as if she were possessed by evil spirits. She went through a series of 16 exorcisms, witnessed firsthand by her daughter Michelle. The situation started, says Michelle, with strange banging noises in their home. It moved on to a mysterious overturning of all their furniture, and eventually to attacks on Pat Redding from an invisible force.
It would rip her hair out. There'd be plenty of witnesses, and it would rip it right out of her scalp. An invisible force. She'd scream, she'd jerk backward, I'd turn around, she'd be in pain, of course she would panic, she'd cry, she was shocked.
And did she have actual physical marks on her body?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they couldn't have been self-inflicted?
No. Bite marks on her back. She would end up with black and blue marks in the most bizarre places that she wouldn't have been able to do herself.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Connecticut Bishop John McKenna agreed to perform the exorcism. Exorcists say it's the demons inside that give the possessed strange voices and unusual strength. They say that necessitated restraining Pat during her exorcism.
Did you know that despite the modern notion of many people today that there is no hell, the Bible speaks of it over 113 times? Jesus himself, love incarnate, spoke more about hell than he did about heaven. Why? To warn people, and because of just how horrible it will be for those who go there. Hell will be unlimited in intensity. Imagine the pain of a third-degree burn victim. That pain is limited. The pain of hell will be unlimited. Hell will be unrestrained in the attack of men and demons. Here on Earth, God restrains their attack on people. Otherwise, we'd all fall prey to the Charles Mansons and Jeffrey Dahmers of the world. In hell, there will be no such restraint. People will be under the unrestrained fury of other wicked men and demons for all of eternity. Hell will be uninterrupted in its misery. A human being who suffers on Earth from a painful wound or sickness can sleep, or faint, or find temporary relief in medication. There will be no such reprieve in hell. Hell will be unending, forever. What depth of depression, rage, hopelessness, and sheer horror must the soul sink into, knowing that after 1 billion years they are no closer to relief? Hell will be utter darkness, no light, no love, ever again.
In Romans chapter 9, it says very clearly that the vessels of wrath are being fitted for destruction, and God will glorify his power and his wrath through you. You will glorify God, actively or passively. And speaking of statistics that we talked about just a second ago, statistically, 100% of all people who do not bring forth good works, 100% of all people who die without Christ, they are in hell now. Second thing, the severity. I have literally trembled as I have studied this topic. What causes my soul to shake within me is the eternality, the foreverness of hell. But when you think about the severity of hell, you begin to realize it is no slap on the wrist. Hell is fearsome. It is dreadful. We read our Bibles and we can pass over those texts so freely, so easily, weeping, gnashing of teeth.
Because more than heaven, Christ spoke of hell. More than love, Christ spoke of eternal destruction. More than the church to come, Jesus warned of God's wrath and judgment and hell to come. In the time it takes me to finish this sentence, 30 human beings awoke in eternity because they died on earth. It took me 10 seconds to say that. And in that time, since I said it till just now, 30 individuals have awakened. And I would presume a great majority of them finding themselves suspended in black and feeling that blast of hell. Every hour, 6,464 people die, 155,131 per day, 56 million a year, and 108 since I started this sentence a minute ago. I believe that we must pause and reflect on the destination of all those travelers from earth, because Jesus did. And I'm going to show you 42 times just in Matthew. 42 times in 28 chapters.
And remember this concerning the damned. Every sin receives its own torture in hell. Not only mortal sins, but venial sins. Every single one. And that it is wise even for the damned to stop sinning, because of the fact that each new sin they add adds an infinite hell to their own torture and their own punishment. So that the man who has committed 100,000 sins against purity, for instance, and the man that is considered 100,001, the one that has committed 100,001 will suffer infinitely more than the one who committed 100,000. Each individual sin receives its own infinite punishment, and everyone is counted. That is why the devil teaches foolishness to the damned, to the souls that live in the state of mortal sin. Or you're going to go to hell, so it doesn't matter. Commit another sin and another sin and another sin. But we discover when entering into hell that it does matter, even amongst the damned. Every sin.
The most graphic description of hell was given by Our Lady of Fatima to 3 shepherd children in the year 1917 in Portugal. The following is what the children saw. Our Lady opened her hands, and rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, and we saw as it were a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened or burnished bronze, from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke now falling back on every side, like sparks in huge fires, without weight or equilibrium, amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals, black and transparent like burning coals. Terrified, we looked up at Our Lady, who said to us so kindly and so sadly, "You have seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart." Our Lady of Fatima tells us, more souls go to hell for sins of the flesh than for any other sin. She also stated, many marriages are not good. They do not please our Lord and are not of God.
In Matthew 18, it speaks about the hell of fire. Hell is a place of fire. And you open that door, and there is a raging infernal fire inside that furnace. And Christ described hell as a fiery furnace. You can imagine being pushed through that little hole, and then the door is shut. And it will never open. It will never open. You've burned yourself on the finger. If anything can be attached to the idea of fire is the idea of pain. It should strike within our minds that hell is a place of pain. Unimaginable. The man in Luke 16, he cried out in his torments, if only he could have a drop of water for his tongue. Not even that would be given to him. The thing that is so fearful about hell is not just that it is a fiery furnace, not just that Isaiah would say, not who can dwell with those fires, but who can